On August 6th and August 9th, 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, resulting in more than 200,000 deaths. Joining me is Mike Kawamura, a Hiroshima survivor, and Akiko Mikamiyo, author of the book about her father's survival titled Rising from the Ashes, a true story of survival and forgiveness from Hiroshima. And Akiko, your father was just 19 years old.
Yes.
On a rooftop, just 3/4 of a mile away from the atomic blast. How did he survive?
Everybody asks me, and all I can say is just a miracle. He was burned and severely injured and blasted off and buried under the collapsed house. And his father, who was also outside, but half in the shadow, that he got burned, but he was able to walk. So he found him and he dug him out before the fierce fires approached and just gulped the whole city.
Painfully walked, I understand. His feet were burned.
His whole body.
His whole body.
Yes.
What happened to the rest of your family?
Well, my grandfather on the father's side was ill and died later. And his brother was drafted into the army and killed in the war. So he became an orphan pretty much because his father was never found. After 5 days, they wandered, just staggered around the city looking for a rescue when there was no medicine, no food, no clean water, nothing.
And Mike, you were 2 years old.
Yes.
At the time of the blast. You were at Hiroshima.
Yeah.
What do you remember about it?
Yeah, because I was so little and I don't remember much. But I do remember only one thing. That is, my grandmother carrying me, and we looked up in the sky, and it was bright red, and that sky etched in my mind and my entire life. And I believe that was evening of atomic bomb day.
You grew up though there afterwards. What was it like living in a city that people were recovering from this?
Year later, many U.S. soldiers came to Hiroshima. They were on the truck, and we, all the children, shouted to them, "Hungry, hungry." I didn't know the meaning of words, but that was the first English word that I learned. And sometimes, U.S. soldiers throw the chocolate at us, and we jumped and tried to catch them. And after that, we tasted with a big smile. So we enjoyed.
You were happy about the chocolate.
Yes.
Akiko, now you're a dad, as you said, there's a lot of family members lost, friends, the home was destroyed, as you mentioned, but there was one family heirloom that was recovered. Tell us about that.
Yes. So 3 months after the blast, my father was barely walking, and he was looking for his father because he didn't hear from him. And he went back to the site of where the house used to be, which was complete ruin. But then he found his father's pocket watch in the ashes, and this watch was heat fused. The glass was blown off and heat fused with hands' shadow imprinted on the face, that showing the 8:15, just slightly displaced, but the time of the explosion.
And that watch, I understand, went to a museum. It was on loan to a museum where it was stolen, which brings me to our last question here. And I'll start with you, Akiko. You are an active promoter of peace and forgiveness.
Yes.
Hiroshima itself is proclaimed the official city of peace. What is that like? How is that possible?
Well, we can choose to look back and keep bitterness and point fingers at people, or we can choose to forgive and have compassion and move forward. And we promote at our organization, San Diego Wish, that as a human family, just hold hands and empathize and understand each other. So it's not easy for many people, and understandably so, not just Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but any other atrocities of the world.
Sure, and I want to ask the same question, and with you, Mike, you're also an active promoter of peace and forgiveness. How do you do that?
Yes, I worked for Japanese company for a long time, and I worked in the U.S., Europe, and South America. And I have lots of friends, and my family also globalized. And my two daughters married with nice young Americans, and I have granddaughters. So because of these reasons, I have a strong desire for world peace. So I keep saying to everyone, remembering the past is committing ourselves to the future. We cannot change the past, but we can change our future. It depends on us. So let's work together towards world peace for next generation.
All
so
right.
always I keep saying.
All right, Mike Kawamura and Akiko Mikamo, thank you so much.
Thank you.